You can feel it when the weather shifts in Edmonton. The air gets charged, the ice almost hums, and the whole city starts breathing in that playoff kind of tension. Today's one of those days. There's a twist coming, there's pressure in the air, and there's a bit of news that hits every Oilers fan right in the chest. A hero under fire, a defenseman on the edge, and a young kid starting to glow beneath the radar. What does all of this mean for the future of the team? You're not gonna believe what's coming. So pull up a chair, toss us a like, and let's get right into it. Some players don't need to bark to show how big they are. Stuart Skinner is one of those guys. Imagine holding down the crease for the Edmonton Oilers while half the city doubts you. That's pressure straight up. And somehow he stays calm in the madness. This week, right after practice, came one of those awkward moments, a sideways question that could have rattled anyone else. Instead of snapping back, Skinner took a breath, gave a little smile, and answered with the kind of poise that silences a room. Pure class. Pure team-first mentality. It was the kind of answer that shows character. A lot of folks get caught up in the numbers or the goals against or whatever the analytics spit out. But what's happening behind it all runs deeper. Skinner isn't just a goalie chasing consistency. He's a guy growing right under the spotlight, shaped by every bump in the road. When he says he's learned not to be selfish, or that it's easy to point fingers when things fall apart, he's talking about more than the locker room. He's describing the identity of a team trying to reconnect with its own heartbeat. And honestly, how many players would even say that on camera? That's the kind of quiet leadership fans don't always pick up on right away, but it shifts the vibe inside a team. While some guys panic, Skinner finds stability with real humanity. He even joked about the weight of being a goalie and how he's raising his kids not to follow his footsteps, laughing at the kind of pain only goalies truly understand. It's that lightness that earns respect in the room even when the crowd is restless. Coaches and teammates keep bringing him up as one of the most emotionally grounded guys out there. Even with all the heat he takes, now the trade rumors are starting. And that's where everything blows up. Moving Skinner might make sense to the spreadsheet crowd, but the human cost would be massive. He got thrown into the fire way too early, took on the job that was supposed to belong to Jack Campbell, and still held the team together when things were collapsing. If management acts out of panic, they could hand another team a goalie who's still on the rise. A guy who hasn't hit his ceiling but carries the grit of someone who's already walked through hell and come back stronger. When Skinner talks about being better for the group, you can feel how genuine it is. It's not some rehearsed speech. It's pride in the crest even when it stinks. Maybe the numbers aren't flattering, but anyone paying attention behind the scenes knows it. The guy's growth might be the emotional spark this team needs. And if he becomes the goalie fans want him to be, the story flips fast. And honestly, that flip might come quicker than anyone expects. But hold on, because what's coming next could tilt the balance of the roster even more. Some news hits fans like a punch to the gut. Hearing Kulak might be on his way out brings pure frustration. How do you move a guy who brought stability to the blue line when everything else was falling apart? It's the kind of move that splits the city. On one side, the front office with cold logic. On the other, a fan base that values loyalty and blue-collar work more than anything. Kulak's never been the flashiest, but he's the guy who always threw his body in front of the puck without a complaint. The chatter got loud. When word leaked that management might not be able to re-sign him and moving him now was the only way to avoid losing him for nothing. Business, sure, but for anyone who lives and breathes this team, it's more than that. The guys played 289 straight games without missing a night, a streak that screams commitment. Even so, when the NHL turns into a salary cap chess match, even the most trusted faces can get pushed out. And that's where the tension burns hottest. The Oilers are pressed right up against the cap and everyone knows they're hunting for room to bring in another goalie. Names like Jordan Binnington and Tristan Jarry keep floating around, pricey and risky. So management's math is simple. Someone has to go. Kulak suddenly becomes the easiest piece to move. No protection clause, middle-range salary, and he's had a down year. It looks logical on paper, but it could blow a hole right through the locker room. Fans aren't just afraid of losing a player. They're afraid of losing a touchstone. Even with rough numbers, Kulak has always been a battler. When this team was drowning, he never flinched. But patience is short in the NHL. No goals, only 2 assists, minutes dropping hard, and his play slipping from the steady presence he used to be. Analysts point to that and call it the natural cycle, replaceable, but for the room, for the culture, moves like this hit different. Some say a trade could shake the team awake, send the message that nobody's safe and everyone needs to raise their game. Others see the danger in that, a move that could unravel confidence instead of building urgency. These things are never just tactical, they cut into the psychology of the whole group. If Kulak goes, the Oilers send a loud message. Mistakes won't be tolerated anymore. But will a piece of this team's fighting spirit walk out the door with him? And hang on, because what's bubbling behind the scenes might be even more interesting. Every once in a while a guy steps up right when the fan base needs a reason to believe. That's what Howard is doing. The kid got sent down to Bakersfield and a lot of people saw that as a step back, maybe even a slap. But what he's done since then is ridiculous. His offense blew up instantly, 2 goals and 5 assists in just 4 games, all of it dripping with confidence. It's that spark fans spot right away. Raw talent shouting potential. In Bakersfield, things finally clicked for Howard. Playing with Quinn Hudson and Josh Szymanski, he found rhythm, freedom, purpose. You can see it in his first glide of every shift. Something's different. He's not trying to prove he belongs in the NHL anymore. He's trying to take over every inch of ice he touches. And the chemistry with Hudson is something else, almost telepathic. When one pushes forward, the other already knows where the puck is headed. That connection has fueled the Condors' offense right away. More chances, more speed, more bite. Howard's reading plays like a veteran, slipping into open seams, picking perfect moments to attack space. And he's doing it without ego, always pumping up the team. Folks in the All are already calling him the engine of Bakersfield, and they're not wrong. He's creating chances with a calm that's shocking for someone this early in his career. But the most impressive thing is the mindset. When asked about being away from the NHL, Howard kept his cool and said, "This is where I need to be right now. Every minute is a lesson." That line captured exactly what Edmonton is trying to rebuild, a group that understands the value of every stage. Fans are starting to see something in him they've been craving, a raw pulse of hope, the feeling that a new chapter is waiting. Over the last few games, Howard hasn't just shown skill. He's shown instinct. His transitions are quick, his pass is sharp, his spacing smart. He's not reacting to the game, he's dictating it, stirring the right kind of chaos at the right time. And what's wild is that even as he's climbing, he still seems unaware of how big his impact is. The Condors coach said the whole room changed when Ike arrived. The team's playing looser, freer. That kind of influence spills upward, and it will matter in Edmonton sooner than later. So the real question now, how long until he's back in the NHL for good? Because if he keeps this pace, he looks ready to bring the jolt this franchise has been begging for. And that might be the start of something new in Edmonton. Sometimes what defines a team isn't the scoreboard, it's the guts to keep believing. Skinner showed strength when he was doubted, Kulak carries the weight of uncertainty, and Howard brings the spark of a future that fans have been desperate to feel again. The Edmonton Oilers keep living on that line between chaos and redemption, and that's exactly where the soul of this team always seems to be born. What do you think? Are we watching the start of the turnaround, or just another chapter in this wild ride? Drop a comment, hit subscribe, and let's ride this out together.